Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Queen's Wish. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that he chose to join me today in Madraka, as we talk to Kipi over here. At first, you think this cave is an apothecary. Then you realize it's actually a civil engineer, and it's drawing up a blueprint or something. I don't... An apothecary... Google? Excuse me, Google. Do you mind telling me what an apothecary is?
Here's the definition of apothecary. Archaic. A person who prepared and sold medicines and drugs.
Yes, I'm not wrong on that. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce the English words. It's archaic, which is kind of funny. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's good, actually. But it's a person. Not a building. Or whatever. Anyway, then you see the needles, and you realize that most of the flasks contain ink, not medicine. This is a rough tattoo parlor. I see where the confusion comes from. It's like calling it the pharmacist. It's literally like calling it the pharmacist. Except, you go to the pharmacy. Actually, in English, it's not pharmacy. I mean, it is archaically, but not modern day. In modern day it isn't. You know, you go to the drugstore. Actually, no, you don't go to the drugstore. That's the grocer. This is grocers. Either way, you go to the... Is it the drugstore? I'm actually not sure. Either way, the apothecary is the person, and you go to the apothecary, but you still go to their house or their building or their shop. Either way, a young Owen woman approaches you. The Owen mark on her cheek has an horizontal line crossing it. She seems confused by your presence. I am Kipi. You are the Havenite? This is not a place for you. What are you doing here? I am making marks. Once the Masha had me brand new Owen with their lines of servitude. Now I am free. I give Owen their freedom marks. Oh, that's the horizontal line. That's cool. Freedom marks. When Owen were set free, which rarely happened, tradition is they receive this line. It rarely happened. Well, we do know that they have to work for their entire life. She, for example, has a vertical line, which means she has to work her entire life, but her children don't. But, you know, the more lines you have, the more of your children have to work their entire lives. I assume if you have, like, 5 or 6 marks, if you have 7 children, then the last one doesn't have to be a slave. But, of course, they will be a slave because they need to buy tools for their shop, their apothecary. She points at the horizontal mark on her cheek. It strikes the servitude out. Now they come here and we free ourselves. It is a great risk. Really? If our rebellion fails and the Masha catch Owen who gave themselves freedom marks, she shakes her head. A great crime. Great punishment. Still, it is our right. We must free ourselves. We will not bear their marks anymore. Okay. What are these caves? Old storage caves. They hold food for years, enough that Madraka could survive the worst siege. Sorry, held food, not hold. Right. I thought she was correcting herself. I was like, no, you don't need to correct yourself. You do plenty of mistakes in English. That's fine. I do that myself, to be fair, but that's my job, pointing it out, not yours. She's not actually correcting herself in terms of grammar, though. She's saying that they don't hold food anymore, even though the game told us they do. We are eating it all fast. So many refugees, she says. Let's not dwell too much on the meaning of that. Can I get a tattoo as well? She's offended. I make marks of servitude. No, sorry, made marks of servitude. Now I only make marks of freedom. You cannot have one. Why not? You have not earned it. Only an Owen who risks all has the right to bear a mark of freedom. It is a mark of pride. There are other reasons why I wouldn't be able to hold one. Namely, the fact that the mark of freedom crosses out the mark of slavery. It's kind of sort of implied that I would have to have a mark of slavery, which obviously means that I would have to be a slave. Sorry, an Owen. They're slaves. They're slaves. You can't fool me. We do have the upper level over here. Let's go ahead and, or maybe lower level? I don't know. It's got a river. I'll take your stone, even though I have no need for it. In fact, cannot. I just destroyed their stone. I went in there and ruined it all. Because we have 50 stone, and we cannot have more than 50 stone. The reasons for that, I don't know. But it's fine. So, I need to wait. 2 days, in fact, I believe. That's not a problem. I will not sleep, however. The game wants us to sleep if we need to wait, but I don't do that. Yeah. So what we will do, I say I don't do that mostly because I'm sort of afraid of what might happen. What I will do is I'll go to the home warden, and then I'll go down to Madraka, and then I'll go up to the home warden again, and I'll go down to Madraka again. And I think when I move, I will definitely get this update. And I lost more of my... Oh. I lost more of my green potions. You suddenly have a powerful fit of shuddering. You have to stop moving and get control of yourself. There is a surge of magic all around you. Everywhere, waves of energy for over a minute. Something just happened. Something has changed. There is a group of Owen refugees. Yeah, but they don't... It's just fine. They're here, but they come back. I don't fully understand exactly how that works. But whatever. What has happened, however, must be here, right? Because, you know, it's the 2 days. That's the first time the game does that, I think. Prince, I can help you. Can I see the council yet? I have wonderful news. The council knows that they want... No, sorry. Knows what they want to say, and they have selected Speaker Tarmana to speak for them. Enter the hall and go upstairs. They are waiting for you. Okay. So I can ask you about all the things. Let's go. We have not been here before, mostly because I didn't try, I don't think. There are 2 floors to the main hall. The lower floor is full of lesser officials and warriors, trading information, thinking up new ideas for how to run the rebellion, and working out a new government step by step. When they see you, they stare for a bit. When they look at the stairs, then they return to work. 2 stone stairways lead upstairs. That is where the main council meets. Yes, but I wanted to open that door, and you interrupted me. And I was very confused about all of that, but not anymore. I'm very confused a lot of the time. Okay, so we just have a bunch of counselors, and this one was talking about Anity. He has too much power, apparently. Well, it's, well, you just need to, you know, I don't know, put some chains or something. Make them slaves. That's usually how you remove the power from people. At least you face... Oh, not at least. At last, you face the leaders of the Owen Rebellion. This hall is crammed with tired Vol, bent by a lifetime of labor and by the responsibilities of the war. Your welcome is not warm. The looks you get are neither friendly nor hopeful. Only one man here looks willing to speak with you. He stands by the window at the north end of the hall. The Owen's chosen ambassador waits for you so that negotiations can begin. Yes, but I'm exploring. You're going to need to wait because I need to make sure that I go everywhere, and it's very complicated. We are watching, they say. Everybody speaks to me, though, so they're saying things. It's not going well, says that one. It's fine. Speaker Tarmana over here. Ooh, look at how big that is. You walk through the council hall, soaking in the chaos. The Owen... Excuse me. Soaking the chaos in. It's very different than soaking in the chaos, because that... you could also soak in the chaos, but you're most likely soaking it in. Anyway, the Owen are unified and charged with energy, but they have little experience running a government. Which they are not doing either, because, you know, they're not governing anybody. They're governing themselves, but still. You were trained since birth to understand court protocol. These people have had no such advantage. Just before you can speak, one Owen faction noisily insists on changing who will deal with you. There is a lot of shouting and debate. You have tea. Finally, there is a simple vote. I'm not sure what that means as a simple vote. What is a complex vote? And it is decided that nothing will change. Young Owen with sun-scorched skin begins to speak. I am Speaker Tarmana, he says. He is very nervous about talking to a prince, but he gains confidence quickly. Welcome to Madraka. I am Prince Jeff of Haven. Tarmana nods. He looks at the other Owen. They stare back. They look back, I suppose. He clears his throat. You are a Prince of Haven. You have traveled through our lands. I am glad that you made it to our gates safely. His voice is rough and halting, which is how I'm portraying him. The halting comes from me rather than from him, but sure. This is a man who has worked almost since birth and is still adjusting... Almost since birth, my god. And is still adjusting to speaking in the main hall of a great fortress. You are here about Haven business, about the Vol, being your vassals, I mean. Then we need to know. We Owen have rebelled. The Masha, they were unjust. They took our people's laws and twisted them. I assume here our people means just both the Masha and everybody else. It's just they took the laws rather than our people's laws, because our people's laws sort of implies that they sort of enslaved the other people and took advantage of their laws rather than, just taking advantage of their own laws, which is, how they are being portrayed. For their own wealth. He is growing in confidence with every word. What does Haven think about our war? Let's see. Well, I think, let's see. The first one is I only care about the Vol's treaty with Haven. The second one is I don't favor the Masha or the Owen. The third one is the Masha seem the rightful rulers of the Vol. And the fourth one is the one that I'm going to go with. I have sympathy with the plight of the Owen. That seems very non-committal, but either way. The Owen look at each other, surprised. Tarmana controls his own emotions. That only means you are human. Anyone with any sense is disgusted by the Masha. Still, I am glad you said it. We know that Haven what Haven came for, and maybe the Owen can give it to you. We Owen have needs. We want to negotiate. Then we have 4 options again. I wanted to know how you came to be here. I am tired. I need a meal and a nap before I do anything serious negotiating, and I'm ready to negotiate with you. And I declare our meeting concluded. Okay, so let's go to the first one. I want to know how you came to be here. Tarmana shakes his head. I have heard rumors. You are quite a talker. My life is not important. I am just another Owen. The Masha owned me. I will be free or die. That's all that is important. Okay, negotiate then. The Owen look at each other again. There is a traditional Vol protocol, but... There is just a traditional Vol protocol. But they are unsure how it works, or if they should use it at all. That probably is due to the fact that they don't know how it works. Finally, he makes a decision. The Tarmana does. He says slowly and haltingly, "I formally declare a time of negotiation with foreign powers." The Owen all nod in unison. Also, I'm not sure. I know what a protocol is. A protocol isn't something you say. That's a mantra. Or rather, it doesn't have to be a mantra. A mantra has a specific meaning in terms of, the length and duration and the usefulness of the words directly. But still, it's like, the protocol isn't like, you're following protocol. You're not necessarily saying the things that you were meant to say. You might be following protocol without saying anything. The protocol is just what do you do under certain circumstances. It's also known sometimes as an algorithm, although it's a really... Using algorithm for that is weird. It has been used in the past more than it is right now, but some people do still use that. An algorithm, all that it is, it's just basically a series of commands that depend on or rather, not commands. Yes, commands, but the point is, it depends on what data you input, or what situations you're in. You ask yourself, am I in danger? Yes, and then I do this. Am I on foot? Yes, and then I do this. Do I have access to water? No, then I do this, and that's... that's a protocol. That's also an algorithm. A protocol is more than just the algorithm, but it can be simplified into that. A protocol is just simply, the group of algorithms, rather. So it's just like, an airplane pilot that has all the little checklists and all that. Let's say little, the enormous checklists under different circumstances, in case of accidents and in case of weather anomalies and stuff like that, and they know all that stuff by heart a lot of the time, or hopefully. But they also have those they learn that they have it in books or they have it in the computers and whatnot. Those are also protocols. Those are also they are effectively protocols. Of course, when we're talking about something a little bit more bureaucratic, which is what is being portrayed here, obviously, when we're talking about like the core and etiquette, then following protocol can be just wearing the right kind of clothes or saying the right word in certain circumstances instead of saying another. Like, for example, the British Parliament using, I don't know, they use something to refer to each other. They don't use names in the British Parliament. That's a type of protocol. It's not, I don't remember. It has a specific name, that protocol in particular. I think it's like they say esteemed gentlemen or esteemed madam, I think, instead of saying ever the name of the members of parliament in the UK. Then there's other things. That's just one of the aspects, but that's still protocol. That's still following protocol, and any protocol can be stipulated by literally anybody. If I tell you that you need to wear slippers when you're in my house, then that is a protocol. I don't know where the word comes from, though. It probably comes from precisely the explanation of what it means. Proto sort of means before. Call, I don't know where it comes from, but proto just means before or antecedent to something. But anyway, it's the stipulation that you do before you actually do the things, and so that you know what things you need to do. But either way, I ramble, and let's see. First, there is something we need. Something small but very important. What is this then? We Owen have many grievances against the Masha. Yes, but I really only care about one. The rest of them just sort of becomes as secondary. Because, they enslaved you. So they need to answer for that. And thus, against you, because yes, also against me, that's very true. Against you because you helped them. Queen Shireen's warriors fought with the Masha and helped them put the rebellions down. For this, we need an apology. But that's the least of the needs here. Tell me about your grievances. Once, being an Owen was a way to escape the dishonor of debt. The Masha took advantage of it. They changed the laws to squeeze free vol. What? They what? They squeezed the free vol. Okay. Making more and more of us poor. Yes, that is what the game said before, which is good that it's all being consistent. Because it means that it's thematic cohesion, and it makes this area make sense. I'm not sure it addresses the biggest problem here, which is them being slaves. On the face of it, I'm not trying to like interpret it and change what's being said here, and just like because you can pick up at any one of these words and say escape, aha, but you're saying it. You could understand this text in a different light and just sort of like aha, they're actually the bad guys or something. Anyway, the point is, I'm not trying to twist the words here. I'm trying to understand what he's actually saying, and what he's saying is that his grievance here is that the Masha made a system that's basically a predatory enslavement system. There were already slaves, but because of the way the Masha worked, or the way the Masha made their laws, people were driven more and more into slavery. You can put the more and more between quotes because that's what he's saying over here, and that is his grievance, which, yes, that is a problem, but it's not the biggest problem. In fact, it is not a problem that you need to concern with once you address the biggest problem. Although it is also the problem that you need to concern with, but for different reasons. Because, systemic problems need to be addressed. That's all I'm saying is that when people have power, then this sort of shit happens. Anyway, the Masha, he says. Then the Masha started taking not just us, but our children and grandchildren. Every year, they put more of us in generation bondage. That is the more. This is the concern with the more. That's his thing. That is what drove us to rebel. Yes, because clearly you had slaves before, and you don't really care about that, and that's bad. But anyway, we fight not for us, but for our children. And an apology, you mean? The Masha were unjust, and you helped them. You need to apologize. This is unusual. As far as you know, Haven has never apologized for anything. This is also not true? Is it true? No, it is not. It's kind of interesting because all of the factions have a sort of like words reward. The people in the east specifically asked for us to declare them the best. The people in the northwest specifically asked us to declare them the favorite, and these ones down here specifically ask us to apologize. And all of those are just words. But of course, as I said I think specifically I said it when I dealt with the people in the east. Those are just words, but they are words that have power because they're said by Haven, and then they can show it to other vassals and be like, haha, but I'm the better vassal, and you are the least important vassal, or something. Anyway, we have 4 options. On behalf of Haven, I apologize. On the second one is I can't apologize. On the third one is I might apologize. And on the fourth one is if you want help, you can ask for it, but Haven doesn't apologize. So I'm going to go with the first one, because that's what I did for every other one of the other options, and also in this case, Haven needs to be brought down just as well as the Masha, but I'm not sure that's where we're going with our prince here. The Owen are shocked, to nobody's surprise, and then thrilled. They write your words down. They run in and out of the chamber. They probably don't do that, because that's really weird, because they're like running out the door and then running in and then running out. That's not. Some of them run out and some of them run in. Either way, you have no doubt that the news of this event is spreading rapidly through the Vol. Your mother will be furious. Music to my ears. Or, I suppose I'm reading it, but either way. Speaker Tarmana says, "Justly done, Prince. What now?" "An apology was what we wanted. There is something we absolutely need before we can negotiate." Here, it's not very well phrased, I don't think, but here the implication is, there's the distinction here between what you want and what you need. And it's trying to make it, which is, it's not being done very well. He says, "I just wanted an apology, but I really need something else." You know, despite not wanting it, apparently, or something. It's not the place or the time, but anyway. Yeah, what do you need? "The Owen can't be your vassal if we are dead." No, that's true. I mean, you are the Owen, and... Oh, that's... Yes. "We have to know that you support us. You have to say our rebellion is just." And we have 3 options. I can't say that. The second one is your rebellion has just cause, which is... It sounds like political speech, and it's just sort of political speech, not... That's probably not the word that I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, like, saying things without... What's the word? You know, like when Blizzard apologized for that Hong Kong rebellion debacle in their BlizzCon. Was it BlizzCon or was it the League of Legends thing? When Blizzard apologized and didn't really apologize, just said some words that sort of amounted to maybe a little bit like an apology, but it wasn't. Yeah, your rebellion has just cause. He wants me specifically to say that his rebellion is just, but I don't say it. And I don't think I'll be able to say it, because the third option is the Masha are evil and must be utterly destroyed. That's also not saying it, but I'm going to go with that, because that's what I feel. And yeah. The Owen look at each other, shocked, again, to nobody's surprise. They didn't believe you would actually go this far in their support. I also didn't say the thing that he asked. Tarmana is pleased, if a little off balance. Now he's going to fall over or something. "Then I think we can handle an offer to Haven." What is your offer? "The Owen control almost half of the Vol. We have enough power to trade with Haven. You have a big battalion at the Vol gates. We have seen it. We offer you the chance to fight for justice. Free my people. I give you permission to enter the Vol, as long as you do it to fight the Masha." I've done the entering already. What? You give me permission to... What? Oh, I can now say that your cause is just. Which is not... I suppose you can interpret that as a rebellion. He specifically asked for the rebellion, not for the cause, but I suppose it makes sense. "We'll help you now. I won't force you to be our vassal." Let's go with the second one here and see where this goes. I'm not sure what its implication is. "I won't force you to be our vassal." And it's going to be like, "Oh, but you want to be our vassal." Let's see. Tarmana doesn't seem relieved. "But you aren't helping us either. I don't think we can win against the Masha without help. We are free, but we are still doomed. The frustrated Owen immediately take offense at these words. Tarmana is swept off by a furious debate. The audience is over for today. Well, no it isn't. Because I do all the things that I want to do, so it's fine. Let's go back to that particular dialogue in exactly that line that we were at. But we're out of time for the day, so I'm going to do it next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Quinn's Wish. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.